Hi, and welcome to this week's Learn for Growth news update with Chris Ogle and myself, Carol Dodsley, your host. So, hi, Chris, how are you today?
Yeah, hi Carol. I'm fine. Things are hotting up again in with the weather and Link4Growth, which is great.
It certainly is. I mean, don't you find it's funny though, because we tend to complain when it gets too hot, then we complain when it rains, then we complain when it's cold. And really, I was thinking today, I was sat outside, it's very muggy here, and I was thinking actually I'm going to enjoy this mugginess because the sun has been really hot the last few days, so now it's quite nice to be muggy.
Yeah, I'm talking to someone in the week about this, and actually I'll come on to speak about Tanya Clark a bit later. But yeah, the weather has absolutely no impact on you really, unless you want it to. So.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so let's get down to Link for Growth business. And I think you're going to tell us something about network expansion.
Yeah, that's first up. We've got a few things bubbling on. Some of these things I mentioned last week, but we're looking to put the first week on the first event on the map for Bradford and Halifax. But I actually got reminded by Alex this morning that the date that was originally set is actually the 25th of August, which is a bank holiday Monday. I only just realised that today, so I will have to let Damien know that that is not an option. But anyway, so that's one thing that's imminent, but not yet confirmed. Confirmed, and obviously that date is not going to happen anyway. So the next one is Cumbria and North Lancashire. Now I know that Jerry and your good self has been working with getting something happening up there. And I think we're getting close to the crunch line now, and it's about time that event did actually kick off. And I know Jerry has got some other contacts up in that neck of the woods, which may actually sort of accelerate the progress. So watch out for stuff up there. Um, I haven't been updated since last week about Nottingham, so I'm not going to say any more about that, but just that there are people there who are raring to go. And I also heard that there is somebody up in Newcastle looking for venues. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Newcastle, way up there, past Redcar, getting ever closer towards Edinburgh, Scotland. So that's good news. I met with Howard Morey this week, who's looking to start something in between Cirencester and Stroud. That will be our first foray into the West Country, which will then sort of join us up with the Cardiff and the South Wales lot. So that's good news. And also Croydon and Orpington, which takes us into the south side of London, which is great news. But there are developments right across the existing network as well. This is just stuff that's new areas, new territories I've been talking about up until now. In Cardiff, well, not in Cardiff, but in South Wales, we took the Newport event further this week because I was down there on Thursday. In Durham and North Yorkshire, there are possibly 3 new events which are likely to be announced in the next few weeks. We have a curry night that people who have heard the Southwest Hearts news update will be aware of, which is great. That'll be the first curry night we'll have. But I think the room that Alex has identified is 15 people. I said to him, you need to be looking at a few more places than that because I can see it being quite popular. I was in Luton this week and Lutonia. There's 2 events currently in Luton, but the team's bubbling along there, and I'm having a further meeting with them next week to really set the plan in action. So look out for stuff there. I've been sworn to secrecy about some recent developments in London, but some great stuff happening in London. Full credit to Deepa there. So looking forward to hearing more about that. She did tell me, but she also said she would break my bones if I said anything on this show. And we've also got more stuff happening in Essex as well. So loads happening out there.
Yeah, it sounds like it's sort of like one minute there's a couple of things happening, then all of a sudden one thing happens and you get this ripple effect and it starts to happen all the way across the country. I know Jerry was sharing lots of those that you've just shared on her TV show, and the curry night sounds absolutely brilliant, but hopefully it's not going to be it's in September, isn't it? Because it's going to be a bit too hot for curry at the moment.
September the 8th. So if you're in Watford area or around and you fancy a curry with some friendly people, then come join us.
And people can book a place for that, can't they? Is it on Eventbrite or on the main website?
It's on Eventbrite. You can get to it through the website, but it's on Eventbrite, and I think Alex and I have booked in already. We because it might be that there are space restrictions there, so just book.
Yeah, I know on Alex's show yesterday, he said, he did say to people, get yourself booked in early because it is space limited. Obviously, if this is a real success, then there'll be more in the future and potentially in other venues as well. It's not always necessarily going to have to stay to one venue, but this particular venue, which is a great venue, does have restricted space. So please, if you want to go along to that, go and get your tickets booked.
Just one correction: they're not when it's a success. Okay.
Well picked up there, Chris. Well done. Yeah, I would be the person picking other people up for that normally. So, just let us know, what sort of highlights have we got for the week?
Loads of good stuff this week. There was obviously the launch in Saltburn earlier in the week. I was unable to make that, but I understand it was a fantastic event. Jay, if you're interested to see a little bit about that venue, just check out the posts that Jerry put up on Google Plus. He put a couple of pictures looking down from the venue. It's just amazing. If you're in the area, do go along and participate in that. Fantastic. So well done to Jerry and the whole team up there for getting that launched. Right, there's a really interesting thing that's happening in Watford this week, which is, well, not this week, but it's been announced this week, which is the Watford Women's Centre Plus, and we're working in conjunction with them. It's a photo initiative. Now, the idea behind it is that anybody in Watford can go around and take pictures of interesting buildings in Watford, Rickmansworth, Croxley, well, in fact, anywhere in the Southwest Herts district, and post them up on Google Plus. We're using a hashtag, which I'll come on to later on, which allows us to pull all these posts together. And what's going to happen, I think the final closing date is the 18th of August, and then the 19th and 20th. I think it's Alex that's going to be doing the judging, along with the best of Watford. I think there's Abby and Peter Sutton have agreed to participate in the adjudication, and we're going to pick the best picture from the people that have submitted this onto the Google Plus community, and basically they'll be exhibited in the Watford Women's Centre. They've got a wall which they usually use for local artists, but they've actually allowed us to put our pictures up of what we've done in the Watford community, and they're going to be judged, and people can buy those pictures, and all the proceeds will go to the Watford Women's Centre. So that's really exciting stuff, and hopefully we'll get the papers involved in it. We can do a lot of, we'll even get some TV footage with them on the Southwest Herts show. So that's going to be really good news, and hopefully what it will do is it will focus people on the good news and the good things of the community, which is partly why we've created these communities. And that's just a fantastic initiative. Nothing to do with me. It wasn't my idea. Can't take any credit for it. But it's just the power of what Link4Growth is doing, which is enabling local people to come up with suggestions and ideas and ways for a wide variety of people to get involved. So that is absolutely amazing. I want to also give a big shout out to Jen Tiller and Kate Griffiths. They had a fantastic second event in Hitchin this week. They had to move it because the venue they chose for the first one wasn't big enough due to the success of it. So it's now been moved to Copper Beach Gallery. And the gallery there is very kindly allowed us to use the facility. And I think they were just overwhelmed with the success. There was like 25 people there, and it went really, really well. So big shout out to those two ladies and the gallery as well for allowing us to use the facility. Big shout out to Howard Morey on my way back from Cardiff this week. I just sent him a message first thing to say, look, I'm coming back down the M4. He drove 40 miles to meet me. Such is his desire to get Link4Growth off the ground out there. And we had a really good hour together sharing sort of what the message of Link4Growth is, what the values are, and he's just so up for it. So a big shout out to him. Coventry, I was up there this week, and there were 3 or 4 people that are really interested in joining the team up there. So I'm going to, James, unfortunately, who's the district leader, has to take some time out. He's not disappeared, he's just taken some out because he's the only person there now in our dealership that's in sales, and they're just like, he's just maxed out. So in there to help him build a team there which can carry on looking after the events. Great session with this week. Tanya is a person that helps people take personal responsibility. So in terms of Link4Growth and the synergy, Link4Growth is all about stop blaming other people, start taking responsibility. Well, that is exactly what Tanya helps people to achieve. So it's very aligned to what Link4Growth is, and I'm quite with some ideas that I've got for how Tanya can help people in Link4Growth, and we can get people on that journey much. Watch this space on that one. That subscribed this week, there's been a real of subscribers this week, so everybody that subscribed this week, big thank you for you to joining the Link4Growth community. You will not be denied. All right, just make sure you get involved with everything you can and make a real advantage of your subscription. I want to thank Sue Esplin in Redcar. I gave Sue a little bit of training this week on the CRM because there's a whole raft of stuff that we need to do, and at the moment I am the bottleneck and people waiting for days, if not weeks, for me to do stuff. So in order to alleviate that problem, I trained Sue in a few bits and pieces this week, and I thought it might take her a couple of days to do something, and she wished it off in half a day. Wow, what an amazing performance. Thanks very much, Sue, and there's more work coming your way on Monday, so watch out for that email. And I want to thank Jerry for travelling down on her birthday. It's been 4 hours driving down to Watford on her birthday on Thursday to join us at Link4Drinks in Watford. She had a good week. I took her to a networking breakfast after I think she felt a bit hungover actually. She had to stand up and talk as well, and she had the whole room laughing. So and then we went off and did loads of other appointments during the day, but I think she had a good time. She's back now in Redcar, so we've only borrowed her for a couple of days. But thanks to her for travelling down and saying hi to everybody. Don't forget that Redcar and Watford are actually twinned, which means that we quite like to do these kind of road shows between us, go up there and meet each other. It's about perhaps bringing different parts of the country together so they can share their different cultures, and actually maybe it can bring the whole of the community of the UK together. So Watford and Redcar are twins. So if you fancy going to Redcar next time I'm going up there, then tell me and I'll pick you up on the way. That's it. That's the shouts for this week.
Gosh, that was an awful lot of shouts, a lot of highlights as well. And I might take you up on going up to Redcar next time. So let's have a look at tools for growing districts, because you've just been talking about all these new districts that are coming on board and all this stuff that is happening. What sort of tools have people got for growing these districts?
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that people don't really understand is that there's a lot of things that when people first come along to a Link4Growth event, there's an awful lot of information that they can take away with them, and sometimes it's quite difficult to learn to understand like where to spend your time talking with someone. But the thing is, it's different for every single person that comes to a Link4Growth event. If someone comes along to a Link4Growth event and they're not very good at social media, then it might be that the best thing to do is take them towards the online trainings that we do to get people a bit more able to participate. Sometimes, and I always tell people about this, I always tell them that the Link4Growth forum is our national community which brings everybody together within Link4Growth, and therefore it's really vital because there's over 3,000 people on there. And the difference between that community and say the Google Plus communities is every single one of those people has at least heard the message of Link4Growth and they understand. So that forum doesn't require any moderation because the people on it are all, if you like, they've all heard the Link4Growth story. They're all givers. They're not all givers necessarily, but they understand the ethics and the values of Link4Growth. So it's a really important place for people to plug into. And of course, being a subscriber, they get loads of other advantages. But to widen the net, to be able to attract anybody in the community to be able to participate, irrespective of whether they're in Link4Growth or not, we're using Google Plus communities. And I've written a document this week which explains why we're using them and how to build them, because it's part of our marketing. Ultimately, the more people that engage with us on there, the higher the percentage of people that find out about Link4Growth and come and join us at the events, participate on the forums, and ultimately help us to build community. So check out that post. It's going to go up there this week on the forum. I don't quite know where I'm going to put it. Probably in a network in the community area. Check that out. If you are involved in districts and you're hosting events, please do read it, because it's going to give you a lot of ideas about how you can build a community. And remember this, it's not just the responsibility of the host of the event to do everything that's on the list of options or possibilities I put up there. It's a collective effort. So just find a few people I actually show you how you can search for people on Google Plus in your town. So go find a few people using Google Plus in your town and invite them into the community. You never know, they might want to help you.
Yeah. Exactly. I know that Alex does that very well. He actually searches for people in the local area and he puts them into an invite circle. And every week he will actually send out an invitation to the communities. And each time, one or two or maybe a few more people start to join the community because they know about it. And I think it's really important that everybody that is already involved, and the district leaders who are hosting the communities and managing them, is to remember, when you meet somebody, to put them into a circle so that you can invite them, you can let them know what's going on, because sometimes you might meet somebody online or offline or even never have met them, but you found them and you then forget about them. If you put them into a potential invite circle, you'll have them there to actually talk to and start to take those relationships deeper.
Yeah, I mean, what I sort of dawned on me driving around. I've done another 700-mile week this week, so I get plenty of time in the car to think about things. And one of the things I was thinking about was when people go to Google Plus initially, and you all know this, Carl, because you're involved with Google Plus. When people go there, they don't know what they're looking at. They find it quite alien to what they're used to, and they have to start to understand what circles are before they really start to see any information come through to them that means anything to them. So it's quite natural for people to go there and say, well, this isn't as nice for me as an experience as Facebook because I've got all my friends there. However, if you simplify it and you just send someone the link to the community and they already have a Google Plus account but aren't using it, what they'll see when they arrive there is a load of stuff about their local town, a load of stuff about pictures of things that they're familiar to them because they walk past them or drive past them, and they might even see people that they know. But that isn't important. What's important is those people live in that town. Now, whether they know them or not is irrelevant because there's an opportunity to make new friends right there. But it's simple. No need to circle anybody. No need to understand Google Plus. You can ask to join and start posting straight away. And I just think that if we get that message out there, it's just such a simple thing. And after 2 months or a month, they might say, well, do you know what? That's quite simple. What else can this Google Plus do? And then, of course, we've got all the trainings that can teach them all those things. So I think it's a really easy way for people to really start to get engaged in the local community without having to have any knowledge whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm totally with you on that. Like you say, Google Plus is one of my specialist areas, and it is about just make it inclusive, make it easy for people. Don't make it, well, you need to know this and you need to know that, you need to know that. People can take those steps later. They can come and join on to some of the programs later when they're ready to learn more. But just to start with, invite them to the community, show them where they can actually find people who are already there, already talking about things that they already know about and have an interest in.
Yep.
Okay, so do we have any more tools for growing districts, or was that it, the tip for the week?
We do, but I was just going to focus on those things I've said really this week. I mean, there are plenty of other things, but I'm conscious of time. I don't want to labour too many points. They can find out all this stuff on the forum.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on. And again, we seem to be going very nicely between topics here. And one topic is really easily leading us on because we've just started to talk a little bit about trainings. And I know that you want to talk about education and learning as the next topic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sort of talk about training and the whole raft of training that we do, because you can go to the website and you can find out about those trainings. I will highlight a couple of them in a minute, but one of the things that I picked up this week on my travels, just as an item to just mention at this stage, and this is like a snippet of, if you like, education in itself, is that social media can work both for you and against you. But it happens regardless of whether you're paying attention or not. So if you're not paying attention and people are saying good things about you or people are saying bad things about you, you are ignorant of the fact. And that's really important because, as I've said before, there are really two things that you need to do well going forward. One is to network with people physically really, really well. But the other thing that you need to be able to do is network online equally well, which means learning how to use those tools. And the statement by those who say, oh, I don't really do online because I'm not techie, is the sound of people who won't be in business in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
Because it's that important that you can't be in business and not be using these tools. It's almost like saying I still do my accounting on paper, but we know that computerized accounting systems has completely revolutionized that area. The same will be true of marketing and effectively sales, but that word's becoming replaced by helping people buy. You've just got to get effective. We are providing the tools to enable that to happen. And there is no excuse. I mean, you can't hide behind, oh, I don't like technical stuff, I'm not very good on the computer. You've got to learn it. That's it. End of.
And that was a very strong message from Chris there. But, you know, I'm totally, obviously, I love online. I know there are a lot of people who don't, but people are seeing the difference. And I've seen people, like you said there, if you're not online, you don't know if anyone's talking about you. When you're online, first of all, you know if they're saying good things, which is always a bit of a boost for you. You know who your fans are. You know who is actually an ambassador or an advocate for your business, and you can then start to connect with them. You might not have known them before you saw the great comment that they put online. But also if someone's saying something negative, and sometimes you can really nicely turn a negative into a positive. I've seen people who regularly maintain their reputation online and check who is talking about them. And when they see a negative comment, they don't get all upset or try and scrub it out. They'll actually go in and showcase just how awesome their customer service is. And they not only turn that person around, but they also attract more customers. But you can't do that if you're not online and you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just give you a very simple example. And people will be able to give you a gazillion examples. But this week, I had a bit of a run-in with my provider of my server hosting. I needed to set up a couple of subdomains. I sent them an email on Sunday. Nothing happened, and then on Monday when I talked to them, they realised that. What I realised was they'd given me a new email address, but no one was receiving those emails because they weren't coming through to them. So I sent it to the old email address, which worked. And then another day went by, nothing happened. So in the end, I resorted to Twitter and said something like, completely unimpressed with EasyNet haven't been able to get their act together at all over the 48 hours. I did get a response within 2 hours from EasyNet saying, I apologise for that. Can we take this offline? Can you email us your problems? Yeah, they dealt with the query adequately for a while, but I fear I have to go Twitter's route again on Monday. I'm not out of the woods yet. But the point is, they were listening.
Yeah, and that is an important point. I think the point there isn't go over to social and complain and make it public. The point is, if you have done everything else you can, you have other alternatives, and good companies, they are monitoring and maintaining. I had very similar with Virgin Media. I was having so many problems, and I don't like phoning their helpline because it's an 0800 number that from a mobile phone, I don't have a landline, from a mobile phone is premium rate, and I really gripe about paying premium rate for a service provider for me to get help with something I'm already paying them for. And I just couldn't get the help and couldn't find out. And I did that on Twitter. I put a comment on Twitter, and almost immediately, within about 10 minutes, I had a phone call from the help guy. I had his personal email address, and ever since then and now, if I ever have a problem, I just email that particular person because we now have a connection and we've actually built a relationship. And you know, that was just like phenomenal. And it's about, if you're there and somebody does have an issue, it gives you the opportunity to actually show you care.
Yep. So do take advantage of the education platform that we've got in place. We put it in place because we know how important this is. It's not because we want to show that we've got lots of workshops. It's really to enable people to tap in at a convenient place and time for them to get themselves up to speed on these platforms, because they're not going away. And the more you know and the more you're able to participate, the better it is for you. It's as simple as that. A couple of them we've got coming up. We've got on Monday, we've got Facebook with Intent. So if you're struggling with Facebook and you want to get more out of it, do go on that. We've got how to actually network physically with Intent on the 30th of July. That's about how you engage in the room, what you do before you go to an event, what you do at the event, and what you do after. You have real practical tips about how to get the most out of networking. We're inside and outside of Link4Growth. It doesn't matter whether you go to Link4Growth events or not. If you go to any network, it's invaluable training. And we've also got a Twitter and Hootsuite with Intent workshop, which is the day after, on the 31st of July. These are all half day, £15 or £18 if you're not a subscriber. So they're there for you to take advantage of, and to be honest, you will always learn something on these things which can help you. We've also got the accelerated learning programs coming up, 2 of those. One on the 29th of July that starts, that's Google Plus, which you'll be doing yourself, Carol, and LinkedIn on the 6th of August. That one kicks off. More details on the website. Please go check them out.
Cool. Awesome. So lots of stuff going on and lots of things that people can tap into. And is there anything else you want to say about the education, or do you want to move on to collaborations?
Just move on to collaborate. I've got a few things to say there, but not much. On collaborations, yeah, we're really starting to see some intent with the relationship at Regis now. They have a new general manager around where we're running these events, and they're starting to put a little bit of effort into there, which is a sea change for Regis, because I think they've recognised that actually hosting networking events in their building is actually going to be good for them. I don't think up until this point I think they've given a bit of lip service to it, but I've noticed a bit of a sea change there, which is good. Collaboration Club, Diane Richardson I spoke to this morning, I mentioned Collaboration Club to her because they're basically running projects where they're trying to attract people with money who want to do good in the community or help support local businesses. And they're trying to, if you've got money or you haven't got money, it's a problem. These people have got money, but they don't know who to give the money to. They don't want to give it to banks. They don't want to invest in something that might go horribly wrong. Some of them have actually got a conscience and want to put back, and actually there's no vehicle for that to happen in a simple, easy way, and that's what the Collaboration Club is all about. So quite a good complementary organisation to work with Link4Growth. So that's a good one. And the Watford Women's Centre is just a pure example of how a local charity is working alongside Link4Growth for mutual benefit. It's raising the profile of the Watford Women's Centre enormously, and some of the initiatives that we're working on means that we, with their connections, can reach to a larger number of people in the community with influence to get the Link4Growth message across. So that's just some real good examples of how it works.
And right now there is some sort of siren in the background.
Yeah, I think that's World War III going on there.
Okay, now it has gone quiet again. So let's move on to subscriptions.
Yeah, I mean, under the heading of subscriptions, I like to talk about things that people who subscribe can benefit from. And last week I mentioned it, which is if you're a Link4Growth subscriber and you're in the local news, or you've got a piece which is a PR piece, do let us know about it, because on our Pinterest board we've now set a new one up to be able to put that kind of information, which once again helps you to get your message out to a much wider audience. There is a forum thread which talks about all the things that you can get as a subscriber, so I do encourage you to go and check that out. It's in the section Welcome Here, Say Hello. It's right at the top. and please do go there and just work through the list of things there. The forum thread about excuse me, about building communities will go up this week. It looks like a formidable list of things, but you don't have to do all of them, and you certainly don't have to do them all yourself. This is about getting a collection of people to do a little bit each, not try and foist a whole load of tasks on just one individual, because that's not what Link4Growth is all about. It's about bringing teams of people together and working together. Doing it on your own can end up becoming a bit laborious, and it can end up becoming a bit of a chore. If you do it as part of a team, it becomes fun, it becomes engaging, and it works. So do go on there, check that out, and build a little team to help you achieve it. And the last thing I want to mention in this section is I'm going to put a post up today. People must remember that this show is not Chris Ogle's show or whatever. This is a Link4Growth show. This is about reporting the news that's going on in the community. Now, I do some might say reasonable job of guessing what that news is. People might say I've got it completely wrong. But without any input, I do what I do. But I'm going to put a thread up there, and there's going to be a section which is encouraging people to supply to me the things that are going on in their community so that I can talk about them on this show. Because I do believe that it's about engagement, it's about getting news out there, not what I think the news is. So I'm going to put that post up today, and it's going out to everybody. If you've got something that's going on in your community, put it. I'm not guaranteeing it'll be on the show, because if we get in the news, we'll run out of time. But it is a way for you to now start to have an influence over what is on this show, because it isn't up to me.
And that's a good point there, Chris. And I also want to just jump in and say, if you make sure as well that you're very clear of where the area or the community is that your information is about, even if it is not brought here onto this is the national Alpha G news updates, your district leaders have their own community TV each week. So some of them could be brought up there, which actually is for the local community. So if you have local stuff that you want to shout out or you want to tell people about your events, still put those up. And also, if you know your district leaders and you know who's around in your own local area, talk to them as well, because they're always looking for people who want to promote what they're doing, who want to tell people about things that are happening in the local area. So you've got the two things. You've got this national show, but you also have the local community TV as well to tap into.
That's it, really. That's all I wanted to say in that section about subscriptions.
Okay, so that was that bit. And now this is about the longest show we've ever done, Chris. Did you realise that? We're over the half hour. Wow. So we're going to talk about what's on next and any announcements that you've got.
Yep. Okay. So Monday we've got Marylebone Breakfast, which I'm going to actually in London this week. I always look forward to that. I can see the building of the first, the door to the first job that I had in the central London from this venue, so it brings back memories going to that venue. So I'm going to be there this Monday. We've also got the Facebook workshop on it's an online workshop, but the Facebook with Intent on Monday. So if you're interested in Facebook and get more out of it, do get yourself booked into that. Tuesday we've got Islington coffee and L4G youth drinks in Watford. On Wednesday, we've got Market Deeping. I believe that's the last time that will be run at that event, because that venue is closing. So so if you're in the area, a bit of nostalgia, go along and be part of the last one there. There's Potter's Bar on as well, and CSR Luncheon in Harrow and Hitchin Drinks. So quite a busy Wednesday. Thursday, we've got Ely Coffee and Medcar Drinks. Friday, we've got Barnet Coffee, and on Saturday, we're up at the Watford Market. So if you want to meet some local traders, come along and I'll introduce you there. Coming on to some announcements now. The national newsletter will be going out this week, and we've been talking for a few months now about mastermind groups. The due diligence on getting those started is almost coming to an end. So with a bit of luck, we'll be seeing the emergence of those in the not too distant future. So watch out for those. On a social side, innovation. Well, we've got a couple of innovative ideas that have crept out of the woodwork in the last couple of weeks. One's this L4G curry. The second one is the Watford Women's Centre plus photo thing that I was talking about earlier in Watford. The hashtag for that, by the way, is WWC. That stands for Watford Women's Centre plus, not the symbol, but the word plus photo. So if you are going to submit a picture for that, do use the hashtag so we can group them all together. and we'll be tweeting about that and getting out on other platforms as well. Please do check out the website. This goes out to community hosts, community leaders and district leaders. Have a look at the website and make sure your bit is up to date and all the information that you've got is there. The email address to use for this is website@link4growth.biz. It's just a, it's a collective responsibility to make sure this information is right. It's not somebody at Link4Growth making sure that all of this stuff's accurate. They couldn't know because they don't live in all these places. It's up to us to check, validate, and inform if the information is wrong, and then it can be put right. So have a look there, see if there's anything missing, and make sure you get it sorted. The book, yeah, it's a bit of a saga this, but I'm on the last and final edit. There is going to be punctuation and grammar checking taking place next week. I'm going to do some diagrams to go in the book, finish the back page, which basically is a brief intro to the book, and I'm hoping that by the end of the week we'll have got that into some sort of assembled entity, and then next week we'll get out on Kindle and on Amazon, which might take a bit longer, but all the planning has now been done about how we're going to publish, how we're going to do it, so that is becoming imminent. And that's it, really. That's it. That's all I've got for this week.
Cool. That was quite a lot. That wasn't an all I've got. And that is all the news for this week. I have an announcement. It's just started absolutely tearing it down with rain outside.
Right. Well, it isn't in Watford. It's still quite balmy here, so it might be on its way, I guess, if it's coming down from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'll make sure I send it down for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for this week. Hopefully you'll come back next week. Please do share the link with other people that you know would be interested in knowing more about Link4Growth, and we will see you again at the same time next week.
Okay, bye now.